Roll Tide, everybody. Look who's back. I got the catfish. I'm Mick Gillispie, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. A live show here, maybe even take some calls as we expect Bama to be in the college football playoff. So good to see you, catfish, right now.
Yeah.
You got Indiana 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech 4. Is there any chance Bama does not get in?
Not now. One thing that I didn't bring up when you and I talked, and I've talked to some other people, is I kind of wondered, like, all right, since Ohio State lost last night, Georgia won, Georgia would move up to 2 for the SEC champion, being 12-1. Ohio State would fall just to 3, being the Big Ten runner-up. And then I thought, man, if Bama ends up in that 10 slot and wins, then Bama's got to play Georgia for a third time this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the committee put Ohio State as 2. So in my mind, that is an automatic Bama's in. Because the committee looked ahead. They said if Bama wins, we're going to get Bama, Georgia, part 3, which the networks don't really want, to be honest.
Right.
They've seen it twice. It'll just be it won't have any kind of drama or build up or whatever. It'll just be a blah. So there's no doubt to me now, especially also watching the money and stuff, but Ohio State being 2, Bama's going to be 10 is my guess. And they did that so that Bama and Georgia didn't rematch.
Right.
Or the potential. I mean, Bama still would have to win the first round game, but they're just trying to avoid that. And they can say they don't do that kind of stuff. They do that stuff.
No, they definitely
absolutely do it. Yeah. Oregon 5, Ole Miss 6. All what we thought. Like, everything's going to be what we thought until we get to 9.
Isn't it crazy that that we kind of knew all of this stuff? Like the Vegas had this figured out. they're. I mean, unless Notre Dame doesn't get in and Miami does, this is falling exactly the way that we thought it would fall.
Right.
Except, like you said, Ohio State 2 and Georgia 3, basically just to keep Alabama from having to play Georgia in a rematch.
But I think that's why. And they'll never admit it. But I'm telling you, we've just seen this stuff too often where they do it. Even when they had the 14 playoff, like, they just do whatever they can to avoid. They want to put the TV matchups in place. And that's what they do. A&M 7, which we know. Oklahoma will be 8. So then it'll be, and then they'll come out and they'll probably skip 9 and 10 and put Tulane in there, and then assuming James Madison, which, Mick, that's something we didn't talk about an hour ago.
Right.
Can we stop with the group of 5 stuff?
Yeah, like James Madison playing the schedule. They didn't beat anybody.
This isn't college basketball. This isn't college basketball. You don't have the Cinderella upsets, okay? You just don't. I know Tulane's like, well, we beat USC in the Cotton Bowl a couple of years ago. I'm not saying that an upset hasn't happened before, but I'm saying when you get in a meaningless bowl game,
right?
As you could also look at that same year, Oregon played Liberty, and look what Oregon did to Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
It just nobody cares.
So I don't see anything that surprises me so far. Oregon, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, all first round hosts. Now, the thing that bothers me is why in the hell does Alabama and Georgia have to play and everybody else gets to sit home and get a bye, right? Like, those teams should have to play too.
Bama's 9.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. They didn't move. That means Miami's in. That's got to mean Miami's in and Notre Dame's out, right?
Here we go. Oh. Are you Bama at Oklahoma?
Yeah.
A rematch.
Yeah.
This is a shocker. I thought that Bama was going to Texas A&M.
We all did. And I tell you what, Bama at Oklahoma is a better matchup than Bama at A&M.
Yeah. I thought Bama dominated the game and lost. They made too many mistakes. But it's one of those games you'd love to have back.
And if Bama wins, they get Indiana and Pasadena. They avoid Ohio State. Bama avoids Ohio State and Georgia until the
But
championship.
I think the big news here is that the Anderson Bowl is potentially intact.
I don't need it, Mick. I don't need that in my life.
Then
All right.
that's where your wife Brittany went to school.
Brittany
She's a
went to
Hoosier.
Indiana. I don't even know that Brittany watched the game last night, but I'm going to hear about Indiana. Like, I know their quarterback. I don't know that she knows the quarterback. I know that Mendoza exists. I don't know that she knows Mendoza exists, but I really don't want to go to that. She's going to want to go. I know she is.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I'm just shocked.
Miami is in. Notre Dame is out.
Well, that tells you something. What it tells you is that the head-to-head matchup, which Chris Lowe came on this channel and said, should matter. It should matter. And Miami gives the ACC a bid because they weren't going to get one.
Wow.
And look at that matchup. It's the two teams that beat Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. It's lost catfish.
It is. I'm sorry.
It went crazy. We got a rematch of the two teams that beat Notre Dame at the beginning of the season.
My
Texas
God.
A&M and Miami.
That's
I was
wild.
ready for us at Texas A&M.
I was
the
too.
rematch with Oklahoma is crazy to me, but I think it benefits Bama. I think it's a
It
good
does.
thing.
Let me reset here, Mick. Alabama fans were limping in, listening to everybody complain, and then Alabama was going to go to A&M, which I did not think was a favorable matchup, and play the Aggies. And now, and if they win, their reward was going to be facing Ohio State or Georgia. Now Alabama gets Oklahoma, who they doubled in every metric in the game other than
Except
turnovers.
Yep.
Yeah. And they get to go play Indiana, which Indiana is an amazing story. But let's just be real. Would you rather face Indiana or Ohio State or Georgia?
Yeah. No, I'm taking Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then if you win that, you get either Texas Tech, Oregon, or I'm assuming James Madison.
Is there any chance James Madison doesn't get in, right? They have to take one of those teams.
Well, it's either James Madison, Boise State, Kennesaw State, or Duke.
Okay, so
it has to be a conference champion. Tulane's going to be 11. They're going to go back to Ole Miss. They just haven't announced it yet, but that's
okay. Well, which I would have loved us to play at Ole Miss. Their coach is Pete Golding.
It would have been fun. It would have been fun. Yes.
Coach Golding. I've never seen a man get asked to leave Tuscaloosa more by the fans than Pete Golding. Wow, this is crazy. So Bama's a 9 against Oklahoma, an 8. It tells you that the committee is they wanted to keep the conference championship games intact. And I think that I'll tell you right now, if Bama would have been kept out of this because they lost that game, everybody would have started. It would have been like Christian McCaffrey. Remember, he was the first guy to opt out of a bowl game as a player. Everybody would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it would have either been that, or they would have restructured the game or expanded the playoff.
All right, there you go. There's your Tulane at Ole Miss. John Summerall, already the coach at Florida, against Pete Golding. What a matchup here! Like, just crazy. I think I'm going to give Tulane a lot of credit for having great colors and an awesome uniform look.
You know, though, that Tulane got smoked by Ole Miss in Oxford earlier this year.
Yeah, but that was with Lane Kiffin. they haven't played the Pete Golding
James Madison.
Rebels.
James Madison plays Oregon in Eugene.
Yep. So James Madison rounds out the field. Notre Dame right now at home because Notre Dame played a Sisters of the Poor schedule. And I mean, I think that if Notre Dame would have just had a couple marquee wins in there, USC being the best win that they had, I don't think that's even a great win. An incredible hire by UCLA, but man, look at that, man. James Madison.
That's crazy.
They're going to get smoked, but you know what? Good for them, right? They'll lose probably by 4 touchdowns.
Those conference lines, man. I didn't see them on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Notre Dame first team out. I'm gonna guess BYU's the second team out.
Roll Tide, guys. So we got Catfish back on for the second straight year. Cat, everybody was wondering. Let me put your banner up just because we haven't had you on in a while. We might as well give you a little pub here. Let's see which one. How about this one? Remember this one?
I remember that one.
Mortgage Dad Chat. If you guys don't follow this guy, you need to, because he has really embraced AI. And every day it's like I saw the Macy's Day Parade and there was a blimp of him, and then he was on The Price is Right selling mortgages. All right, Notre Dame's the first team out. It's obvious. BYU is the second team out. It's kind of a shame because their conference doesn't really hold the weight of the Big Ten or the SEC, right?
Yeah. I mean, BYU to me is like Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I feel bad for Vandy. I think they should have been more considered more.
Yeah, I mean, and I know Texas lost to Florida, but if you look at Texas too, I mean, I wonder about games like Texas and Ohio State. You know, like, why play it? Because if Texas is 10-2, where are they in all this? If they're 10-2, right? They fell back and then they kind of climbed back up at the end of the year.
Right.
But if they're 10-2, like, where are they in this mix? Who are they bumping or who are they pressuring? You got Vandy at 10-2, Texas 9-3, who, if you don't schedule Ohio State, you're 10-2. You got BYU, who's 11-2. They finished 11-1, lost their conference title game to Texas Tech. I will say this year, it does seem that there are more teams that are eligible to win. And what I mean by that is, of these 12 teams, not all 12 have a legit chance.
No, right. But
Right.
there's no, I mean, if Indiana's the top seed, then that means anybody can win this, except, James Madison's not going to win. Tulane's not going to win.
No.
Ole Miss isn't going to win. Although with Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss would have been able to, I think, could have made a run in this tournament.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a lot of you guys wanted to hire Lane Kiffin, and I've heard, people taking up for him and kind of the way he exited Ole Miss, which was a lot like the way he exited Bama. What are you hearing over there?
No, I was just saying I take up for Lane. You were saying
you're
some of y'all. I was waiting.
Okay.
I was raising my hand. Yeah,
You wanted him to come to Bama. You were amongst people, and I did hear this not just from you, but from other people that thought that if Bama lost the Iron Bowl, that there was a legitimate chance that DeBoer would have left for Penn State, and that would have opened up the door for Lane to maybe come to Bama.
To be clear on it, I never thought that Bama would fire DeBoer.
No,
I only thought that DeBoer would have looked at everything and said, I can't do this, because the heat would have been just, to me, insurmountable had they lost to Auburn. Yeah.
But I'll say this about DeBoer, Chad. I think he's done a pretty good job. Like, you're replacing Nick Saban. It's a new era of college football. You don't get the Saban discount on players not leaving anymore. They're going to leave.
Right.
They're going to get their money and go. And if we don't have the money to pay him, they're going to leave. He's got a lot of loyalty. His recruiting classes have been good. He figures things out. Like, he listens. But he's got to win some games. I mean, like, he's got to win some games now. Beating Oklahoma would be a great step in the right direction. But I thought everything he said in the post game, I saw it, right? Like, we had so many guys out, and we're banged up. Like, we're on our 4th string running back. Remember that now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we're without our center, who's one of the best players in the country. We got Jeremy Bernard's banged up. A lot of these guys are hurt right now, and they're out there playing, or they missed the game. And LT Overton not being on the punt team cost us. So
7 points.
And that was the most pivotal part of that whole game. So you hope that these guys are able to get healthy and get this rematch going with Oklahoma. Now, the question I have is, when is the game? Do we know what day it is yet?
They haven't announced it yet. I would say your Friday night game, I mean, it's a standalone. Last year they chose Notre Dame and Indiana for the Friday night game as a standalone. So you had that. You had Penn State SMU was the day game, like the Saturday noon game. I'm trying to think of.
Good to see you guys, Boomer Sooner. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, there you go. You got, who else was a first round line? Oh, Tennessee, Ohio State was Saturday night. That was the primetime game,
right?
Where Tennessee just got boat raced. Oh, Texas and Clemson was the afternoon game.
Oh, that's right. Well, look, Turd Ferguson agrees with me on the Lane Kiffin thing. So if Turd says it, then.
Well, Turd doesn't like winning, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, look, Jersey Dolphins giving you a shout out. Return to Chad. Hey, bro. We call him
Jersey?
Catfish in the house. I had the guys, I had to bribe him. He wasn't going to do this, but I was like, you got to come back in, man, for the show.
I actually think Bama, Oklahoma might be the Friday night game.
Well, and I'll tell you guys this, if it's the Friday night game, look for us to be at the Pie Factory with the Bama Tailgate Show on that Thursday. So we're going to do it the day before to record it for radio. Jake Coker and me, we're going to the Pie Factory in honor of the late, great Big Sexy Elmo. Do you remember him, Chad?
Love
Sexy Elmo.
Love
that guy. You miss him so much. And in honor of going to the Pie Factory,
they call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Right there he was.
The
man, the myth, the legend. It makes me smile every time I see that.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
But we're going to the Pie Factory, and we've been kind of like talking about kicking this around for a long time. So we're figuring out when they announce the actual game times and stuff. How do they determine that? I mean, is that something that we'll know today, or will that be like a tomorrow thing?
Well, we should know today, I would think. They look at so they got 4 slots, right? So you got a Friday night standalone, and then you've got Saturday at lunch or noon Eastern, and then you've got Saturday afternoon, midday, and you got Saturday night, which is the prime time. So they'll put the best game Saturday prime time, or the one that they think will be most watched. I could see that. Like, you've got James Madison, Oregon, and you've got Tulane, Ole Miss. In my opinion, James Madison, Oregon is going to go Saturday midday. The only reason it's not the early game is because Oregon's on the West Coast, so they won't make them start at 10 a.m. So I think Oregon, James Madison will be midday. I think Tulane, Ole Miss will be the 11 a.m. game. And then I think they'll decide between Bama, OU, and Miami and A&M for Friday and Saturday night. It's pretty easy to me. I would put Bama, OU on Friday night, and I would put A&M, Miami on Saturday night. So I don't think you go wrong either way, but I think that's how they'll do it.
Hey, guys, let me tell you about this, too. Avenue D, that is our Web3 home. Mick Nation, your opportunity to win swag. We give away cash prizes each week. It's free. It's kind of like what we're building for. Web3 is the future, right? It's just one spot that has everything you love, and that's Alabama content. So make sure that you hit that QR code and win one of these pretty cool hats. I got the Richardson trucker hats, and then I've got like the old school trucker hats where they say Roll Tide and have the logo on there. Are you disappointed in any of these rematches? Bama, Oklahoma being one, Ole Miss, Tulane being one. You know, like we've already seen these games. You know, obviously, if Ole Miss wins, they play Georgia. That's another rematch.
Yeah, But that's a one rematch versus Bama Georgia part 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one thing when you got 5 teams from the same conference, it's hard to avoid rematches. I mean, how are you supposed to do it? So I think the Tulane situation, they just couldn't help it. Like, what are you going to do with Tulane? They had to go against Ole Miss, unless you move Tulane to 12, which wouldn't make sense, or you move Ole Miss up or down, which wouldn't make sense. So, I mean, I think it was just kind of unavoidable. I think the one that they did avoid, or actually they didn't, I thought they would or did, because Ohio State only dropped to 2. It didn't matter because they left Bama at 9. So it didn't matter who was 2 or 3.
Welcome back, cat food.
Yeah.
Oh man, how many of you guys
Purina.
were worried? Yeah, Purina. How many of you guys are worried we weren't getting in? I was pretty confident. I thought we should have got in last year, but the fact that they let us down last year, you have to apply the exact same logic, and that's what happened. Like, so, like,
Right.
if they wouldn't have let us in,
Yeah.
Jersey Dolphins was. I wasn't. I mean, Kat hit me up this morning. I was like, look, man, I never thought. I never thought that we would not get in. And look at this. Let me put that back up there again. Just Sack says Bama opened as a 1.5 point favorite.
Wow. Well, it's because Oklahoma can't score. I mean, if you look at them, they can't score. Their final games of the year against Alabama, they scored 23. One of those was a pick 6.
Right.
So their offense scored 16. Their offense also started based on a punt return. They started in plus territory based on a Ryan Williams fumbled punt return. They started at the Bama 25-ish. They had I want to say one other interception where they had a plus territory. Like they were constantly in plus territory, 1 touchdown, 3 field goals, 16 points. You look at them against Missouri, I think they only scored 17 in that game, 17-6. You look at them against LSU, I think they only scored 17-13. So they don't score. And Alabama's defense is very, very good. Other than LT Overton, I think they're pretty healthy overall defensively. And now you've got 2 weeks to get ready. So LT Overton should be back unless it's something that we're not aware of.
Yeah, Jam Miller being back. I mean, a lot of guys being back. Brailsford being back. You hope that. I mean, at this
Cuevas
point,
is the big one.
Yeah, Cuevas. I mean, not having Cuevas is why we look so bad against Georgia.
Georgia and Auburn. Yeah. Because Ty Simpson didn't have a tight end to throw to.
No.
I mean, no disrespect to the other guys, but Cuevas is leaps and bounds ahead of other guys on the field right now. So he not having that tight end option for those 10 to 15 yard routes, no safety valve, that was a big deal.
Here's one. Chad lives up in the Nashville area. Dinglebean McFlanagan wants to know Vandy deserves to be in over G5 teams. I don't disagree with that. I think
the G5 is
I
stupid.
said that.
G5 is stupid. It's just dumb. Like, it's dumb ever since they put Cincinnati in against Alabama in 2021. Like, it's just dumb. They don't. Those teams don't play the same schedule, the same conference, the same week in, week out grind. They just don't. And I think Cincinnati's big win that year was beating Notre Dame in South Bend with Desmond Ridder. But I'm not saying there couldn't be an exception. Maybe Boise, in certain years. But this auto qualifier to take away, like, that's who everybody should be mad about, is the fact that the ACC sucks so bad that Tulane and James Madison are in, and you've got Notre Dame, BYU, Vanderbilt, and Texas, who all would be beating these teams by 14 to 17 points at least.
Yeah. Here's one right here I want to put up. Backlash NLA says that with that beatdown, we should not be in. And there's been other Bama guys who have echoed those sentiments. I mean, it's not just him. But I just think that when you play the extra game, you can't be penalized for it.
Yeah,
And I mean, that means something. Like normally when you're the number one team, you actually don't play the extra game. You watch the other teams play you in the extra game.
there it is. By the way, Mick, they just announced the times.
Okay, what do we got?
Wow, they did. I'm really surprised they're doing that. So Bama is on Friday night, standalone game Friday night, ABC. The next day, they are putting Miami and Texas A&M at 11 a.m., which I can't believe because after that game's over, your remaining two games are Tulane, Ole Miss in the afternoon. James Madison, Oregon is the prime time. Like, that's awful.
Right.
I can't believe that's your prime time. Well, except for they put it on TNT, so maybe they just shoved it to TNT.
Oh, yeah, I see this right now.
They gave TNT, which you knew they would. They gave them the crap games.
Sorry, guys.
If Alabama wins, they get the Rose Bowl with Indiana, 3:00 Central, New Year's Day.
Right there it is. Bama plays Texas A&M Friday, December 19th, 7:00. And we've kind of wait. I mean, this is cool, man. I mean, I'm excited. It's the first time Bama's been in this format of the college football playoff where they're actually going to go play a team on the road. They're going to Oklahoma. They've played them. That was one of the games that really hurt them. And then the crazy part about it is like it felt like if things didn't fall a certain way, that it could be Oklahoma that keeps Bama out. But instead, they're going to end up playing again. So you got to jump.
I do. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, that's all right. Well, good to see you.
But I enjoyed it. Great talking to everybody.
Too. Hey, tell everybody about your mortgage stuff. I mean, why I got them here, and then I may take some calls.
No, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've been in the mortgage business 15 years and helping people. We're doing a lot more refinances lately, so we've got that going on. We're helping people save money, debt consolidate, get rid of credit card debt. And believe it or not, people are buying a lot of houses even this time of year. Like my fourth quarter has been busier than ever. And that's with home equity lines of credit as well. So you don't have to give up the low interest rate that maybe you already have. So anyway, if you want to reach out, that's my info right there on the screen. Come straight to me, not anyone else. And love to hear from you guys or help out or do what I can.
Hey, great to see you, Catfish. Roll Tide, brother.
You too. Roll Tide. See you guys.
Awesome, man. The old cat back in the house. That's when you know that you have a party going. So Catfish in the house, and great to hang out with him. All right, let's go to the phone lines. You guys want to do some calls? Let's do some calls. Let me start right here. I think this might be Timmons on the line. Timmons, this you, brother?
Roll Tide, man. It's Timmons. Yeah.
Hey, so first off,
How
Timmons,
you doing, man?
I'm great, dude. I'm great. I'm pretty excited about the. It looks like it's going to be a Thursday at the Pie Factory. I know that you've kind of been the guy managing this, but are we official yet, or are we just kind of in the works still?
1 year in the making. I just need to shoot a text. I'll shoot her a text right now and tell them, hey, we're coming in on Thursday.
I know some of you guys.
Yeah, I'm just glad we.
No, go ahead.
Glad we're finally getting to do it.
Yeah, me too, man.
I'm just glad we're finally getting to do it.
Some of our people have like called and asked them, and it's like we got to know a date. So they I'm sure the service people don't know that this is going to happen, but it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. The game plan would be there on Thursday from 1 to 3 to do the show, sometime in that neighborhood. But what did you think? Did you have Bama in or out? And what do you think about the matchup?
Well, I went to bed last night really nervous. I dreamed through the night that we didn't make it in. But I woke up this morning, and my buddy who had some drinks with last night, I think he had texted me like midnight. He was going through all of the breakdowns, the internet, reaction, and he's like, pretty confident we're going to get in. Pretty confident. So I woke up this morning pretty confident. I checked in on the message boards and stuff. And obviously I feel they got it right. It's kind of crazy. It's good that Alabama didn't drop at all, even after the poor performance last night, because they're showing, okay, these championship games, Bama is getting rewarded for playing in their championship game and not being penalized for playing in it. while the other teams, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, sat at home.
Yeah, I mean, and that to me is important. I mean, I think that you got to play in your championship game, right? I mean, that's or the other thing is maybe would have been better to watch Vandy and Oklahoma play to get this, to get that final spot. But to have your two best teams play, and then if you lose, one of them doesn't make it, but three others do. I mean, not to me. It didn't make sense any other way.
And they've got to tweak the number 11 and number 12, Tulane and James Madison. Okay, maybe Tulane I can get behind, but what they're fulfilling an obligation to the current college football playoff contract, right? Like next year, they don't have to do that. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't even know, dude. Like, good question. I mean,
it's so confusing.
Yeah. It's like every time I turn around, I'm like, okay, here's something else that I'm not really sure about. I just thought that Bama looked so beat up last night that these conference championship games are teetering on extinction. And if they would have, and I think this is all it came down to, if they would have kept Alabama out, it would have been the Christian McCaffrey of bowl games where everybody just started opting out if because they didn't want to have to have to play. I mean, the teams that it benefited Ole Miss and Oklahoma not to have to play. And that shouldn't be the way that it is, Yeah.
I do think we are extremely banged up, and so a week. How many days are we looking at here? 10 days of, 12 days of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That should go a long way, I think, for somebody like Cuevas and Jam, and maybe even anybody else on the offensive line who's banged up that I'm not really, mentioning or I don't know of.
Well, Brailsford,
injuries we don't know about.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go. Yep.
LT Overton being out was huge. I mean, it led to a block kick. So you got to heal up. It's also a rematch in a game that you should have won. And we're going back to Oklahoma again. So we've never beat them in the regular season, but we have beat them in the postseason before. So that gives me a little confidence. Well, Timmons, before I let you go, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, before I let you go, I wanted to congratulate your band, Smashly. Of course, you guys know Timmons from WJLX in Jasper, but Smashly celebrated. What was that? Like your 12th anniversary party or something?
15, man.
15. Get out of here.
Almost able to drive.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy, man. Any final thoughts?
No, just looking forward to getting you guys up here for the Bama Tailgate Show into Jasper, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope everybody can come out and meet us there at the Pie Factory of Jasper next. What are we saying? Thursday the 18th? Is that correct?
Thursday the 18th. That's the game plan.
All right. Well, I'll get all those details hammered out, and I'll text you any questions we have. Yeah.
Well, roll tide, brother. Great to see you. And going back home,
roll
man.
Tide, buddy.
My adopted Alabama hometown is Oakman, Alabama. So that's in Walker County up there near Jasper. All right. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Mick, it's Stan from L.A.
Stan from L.A., man. Missed you last night. I know it was a tough one, but here we are again, and we got more meaningful football, Stan. So you can smoke a stove on that one.
I will do it, and I will just say that, last night was bad, but I want to say our defense really played good last night. They just were put in very bad situations the whole time. And if we can heal up on offense, I watched the press conference with DeBoer, and that gave me some encouragement. I don't know if, everybody's hurt on the offense. Jeremy's hurt. We ain't got no Cuevas. Brailsford, done. He's hurt. Bad. Dewberry, hurt. Bad. But we got 12 days of rest. I'm going to call it 12 days of Bama to recuperate. It's like the 12 days of Christmas. Let's call it the 12 days of Bama. And maybe, just maybe, they can get a little bit of that chutzpah back and kind of get in the groove, and doggone it, let's beat Oklahoma. I'm so sick of this. I got two buddies at work who are boomers sooner than me the whole damn time. I can't handle this anymore, man. If we just win one freaking game, if we can just win one freaking game in the playoff, let me beat Oklahoma so that I can give them the giant emoji middle finger on the work Slack box that Monday morning. Or, yeah, that's what it'll be. But, I hope I'm optimistic here. I mean, I was, distraught last night, but I'm like, let's just see let's take the facts for what the facts are. And my last comment is, I'm so glad Notre Dame finally got shafted, because I'm so sick and tired of those sycophant people put Notre Dame in all those years when they never deserved to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their asses handed to them time and time again. So go cry me a freaking river, lucky leprechaun. Look out. And here's a big middle finger. Here's a big middle finger for you too, you gosh dang. Take your scarlet little gilly and go shove it up your asses now. How's the ice down, boy?
Stan, you said it, brother. Roll
Love you,
Tide.
Mickey.
Love you, man. Call me next week after the game, or 2 weeks. All right. That's Stan from LA. All right, let's go back to the phone lines, man. If you guys want to keep talking, I'll keep answering the phones. Who's this and where you calling from?
Roll Tide, Mick. I can truly say I am so glad I was wrong.
Stan from the Ham. I got all the Stans in today. It wouldn't be a call-in show if I didn't have my Stan brothers in, man. I told you we were getting in.
I know that's right, from one coast to another. I tell you though, Mick, last night after your show, I saw somewhere on TV, or it may have been YouTube, that even after the game, after your show late last night, they were showing that Alabama still had like an 83% chance of getting in. Well, that made me feel a lot better right there. I said, well, they just didn't pull that number out of a hat.
Right.
And FanDuel, they had us in, the bracket was leaked.
Mm-hmm.
And FanDuel had it pegged, all the teams, just not quite in the exact order. But, yeah, man, I'm so glad I was wrong. And the best thing about it, Stan said it, no Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you, Stan. I mean, they basically said, and you are hanging out with us here on a daily basis. You listen to Chris Lowe when he was on. Chris Lowe was adamant about head-to-head matchups working as a not one but two notches for whoever won the game, right? Which basically he was talking about Notre Dame and Miami. And the fact that Miami beat Notre Dame, I mean, even though I think they both played weak schedules, I don't think that either one had marquee wins. But when you go head-to-head and you lose, it doesn't matter if it's at the beginning of the season. It doesn't matter if it's by one. You got to get the nod if it's that close. And when you looked at their resumes, they were almost identical.
Well, that's exactly right. And, people were harping on Alabama getting their teeth kicked in by Florida State, first game of the year. Well, using that logic, though, they shouldn't have. I'm getting twisted up here, but when Miami beat Notre Dame, that was at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those things, it shouldn't matter when,
Well, if it would have came down to...
And hey,
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I questioned Ivan Maisel. He's on the committee, and down through the decades of years, I always thought he made a lot of sense and was a voice of reason. And I was starting to wonder if they were even letting him speak at their meetings in the committee.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he may have spoken up and, knocked some common sense into the rest of the committee. Because I never heard anything from Ivan. But Yeah, it turned out good though, Mick.
Yeah, when you look at the bracket, obviously they wanted to match all the teams with Crimson in the same, bubble here, right? So us and Oklahoma have almost identical colors,
Right.
and then playing Indiana, it's going to be tough to tell us from the teams that Bama's playing. But Kurt Signetti, a former Alabama assistant coach, is doing amazing things at Indiana. That would be in Pasadena. And then the winner would play, the winner of that James Madison, Oregon, and Texas Tech. So Bama has a pretty good, this to me, and I get it. Indiana's the number 1 seed. Bama could beat them. Bama could beat Oklahoma. They got to be healthy. They can beat Oregon.
Yeah.
The other side of the bracket to me is tougher because you got Georgia and Ohio State over there. And I don't care what the seedings are. Those to me are 2 teams that have been there and done that. You're talking about teams that have won national championships here recently that play great defense. I don't think, and I said this on the tailgate show, if you guys saw the tailgate show, I said that I picked Indiana to win the game, and I picked them to win it because I thought that it meant a lot more to them than Ohio State. Ohio State, they're focused on winning a national championship, and that wasn't a national championship. It was one of these conference championship games. Indiana wanted that game so bad, and you saw it after the game. Like it's a milestone for them. But I think, look, I'm excited about this. Miami, these are going to be fun games to watch for me. I'm really excited about all of these matchups.
Hey, me too, Mick. Hey, I'm glad it's Oklahoma. I would have been okay with A&M, but the thing about Oklahoma, we both know Alabama's a better team than Oklahoma. The turnovers killed us. If we can go into Norman a lot healthier than we were last night and be crisp, I'm worried about Ty Simpson. I think his back must really be jacked up. And the other thing, though, that worries me about the game against Oklahoma is that it's a night game. That's going to give those people all day to get oiled up.
Yeah, but you know what? We've been there before, man. I think the most important thing is getting this team healthy. We need to have Overton back. We need to have Brailsford back. We need to have Jam Miller back. We need to have, I don't know about Kevin Riley because from what I understand, it's like a broken jaw, right? That's hard to come back from. But we got to have Cuevas back.
Yeah.
We had a whole host of guys that were out, and then we had a bunch of guys that played hurt. And so both ways, you're talking about needing to get healthy. So I feel like if we do that and we're healthy going into this game, I like our chances. I really do. That we've been battle tested. The Georgia game, and you go back and you look at it, like it's not like Georgia was running the length of the field on us. We just kept making mistakes. The block punt was the key game. The key is, the key part of the game. And when you block a punt, your chances of winning go way, way up. And you guys know that from Jake Coker saying that constantly on here, from Nick Saban teaching him that. He says it all the time. And then you got the interceptions and, the punt return. All these bad things that happen. Georgia played a hell of a game, and I give them nothing but credit for it. But I didn't feel like Bama got destroyed. I felt like we just made mistakes. I thought we played hard, and but we were banged up. We needed some time off. We're going to get that time off, and and there's still some games to be played. Now, do I think Alabama can win a national championship this year? I think they could, but I think it's going to be tough. But I'm excited that we're getting to play, and I see this right here. We got lucky, maybe we did, but what if we would have been Ole Miss, or what if we would have been one of these teams? Like we still got penalized, guys, for having to play that SEC championship game, because had we not, say it was Ole Miss against Georgia, we'd be hosting in Tuscaloosa instead of being on the road. So just keep that in mind. They still made it. They didn't move up or down, but if that would have happened, I guarantee you we would have been hosting, and Ole Miss would have been somewhere else. So,
that if they would have left Bama out, the word I've been hearing is that Greg Sankey he was going to just torch the championship game. I mean, he was just going to say, and that's like a huge, the biggest money maker for ESPN. And he was just going to torch the whole thing and do away with it.
Yeah.
If they had left us out. But Mick, you were talking about the injuries. It was like Alabama was trying to keep. I mean, I know they come out with the injury report and everything, but it's like they were trying to hide a lot of the injuries. I mean, we saw last night in what terrible shape they're in right now, physically, and I think they should ought to let it be known as, hey man, we're banged up, and let this committee know that we're banged up, and there's reasons. You can call them excuses, but there are reasons why things happen sometimes. And I mean, you heard Ryan Brown, say that he was on the sideline and it basically looked like a cantaloupe wrapped around Brailsford ankle on the sideline. He's jacked up. Jake Coker's back is jacked up more than they're letting on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, all the other injuries. Hopefully, these 12 days can heal up a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. I hope so too. Well, Stan, any other comments before I go to the next call, brother?
No, that's it, man. Roll Tide, Nick, and hey, I'm gonna do my best to get up to the Pie Factory next.
Please
Thursday.
do, brother. Please do. You know what? It's about Brett. He died there, and we love him and we miss him. And I laugh about stuff that he said or did, and so does everybody else. I mean, you saw Catfish on there. Coker feels the same way. We miss him, so it's a tribute to him. And
that was me that called him cat food a while ago.
I love that. He is cat food. All right, brother. We'll see you next Thursday.
I'm okay, Mick. Hey, that Brett, he had a hell of a radio voice, didn't he? Kind of like
man.
me.
Yeah. He unlike us too, right? He Coker.
Yeah.
We did the show from in here, and Coker was like, "Hey, where's my headphones? I get fired up every time I hear Brett do the intro." And Brett was like, "Let's tell you this story." And on hold, I'm going to get to you in a second. Brett was like, Brett actually voiced my baseball open for me. I didn't ask him to do it. He just did it. He said, "Hey, I'm going to do this."
Wow.
This is like years ago. And I was like, okay. And he sent it to me, and I was floored by how good it was. I was like, holy shit, dude, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Like a deep voice, the enthusiasm that he had in his voice when he spoke, and I love the way that he says my name too, man. Like he just says it perfectly. And then the tailgate show came, and I asked him.
Here's the host, Mick Gillispie.
I know, like you're like, yes, so I asked him to be on the show. And he said yes. And then so we were actually partners doing a lot of different stuff. And he's like, well, I don't know if I should have my voice on and be on as a guest. I was like, look, dude, there's no way we're not going to have you on as the voice of the open of the show. So, So Stan, I appreciate you coming, man, if you can make it.
Oh, I plan on being there. I don't have anything it's going to keep me away.
All right, brother. Well, roll Tide, man. Have a great one.
So we'll see you then. Hey, you too, Mick. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again and talk to you guys. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mick. This is Paul Bear Bryant Talley from Odessa, Texas. How are you?
Yeah, I like that name. Do they call you the Bear for short? Do they call you the Bear? They call you the Bear?
No, my family just calls me Bryant.
I like Coker's name.
That's my real name.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an awesome name, dude.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah. Thank you so much. Born a Bama fan, been a Bama fan, thick and thin. So, hey, I just wanted to call in because I've called into other Bama shows. I've never gotten into this one. And, man, I'm so happy we got into the playoffs. Last night when I went to bed, I didn't think we were getting in, and I just, got the news that we're getting in, And I wanted to call in and ask you, you know, did at any time during the game, did you think that we probably should have made a switch at QB just to try to light a spark under the offense?
Well,
it just seemed to me like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this. Like, I thought for the first time this entire season that it was a game where I would have rather have had Jalen Milroe, because we were having such a tough time of protecting Ty. The receivers were covered a lot. We didn't have a tight end. Like, we looked so anemic in this game offensively, and it would have been nice to have a mobile quarterback. You know, so you're saying, hey, what if we would have give Austin Mack or Keelan Russell a chance to come in and try to run a little bit, you know, and maybe change things up? We weren't really out of it, per se. You know, I mean, we were down 2 scores with the ball in the fourth quarter, you know, and then obviously we didn't get the first down and lost it on downs, and they scored again. But we were in it. I just think that there was a. So I don't know. I thought about it. I'll say that.
Okay. You know, the other thing that worried me all last week was, you know, we all know how, you know, Coach Smart is great at halftime adjustments. And I just kept thinking to myself, you know what? Halftime for Kirby Smart was the end of the last game last week. Or not the last, in the previous, you know, game in the season, at the beginning of the season. Halftime started right then. And I just had a feeling that something was going to be up his sleeve. And it seemed to me like he knew he had to get up and score real quick. And that's when you saw the blocked punt. And I just kept thinking, surely DeBoer at halftime, you know, we just couldn't catch a first down. I mean, we just couldn't move the ball. And I thought maybe he's going to put in Max, you know, to try to light a spark, you know, because all you hear all season is how, you know, the team supports each other. They just want to win, X, Y, Z. And I just kept thinking to myself, you know, maybe he's going to do it. And, you know, maybe it might come to it. Come the Oklahoma game, we might see a change. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't think we're going to change.
If we need to.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to change quarterbacks. I think we just got to get healthy. You know, now that doesn't mean that, you know, there couldn't be a competition for that spot next year. But I don't know that Keelan Russell's ready to be the quarterback right now. And the thing that tells me that he's not going to do that is last year when Milroe had just the end of the season was just so bad for him, you know, and they still stuck with him. And then the game against Michigan in the bowl game, I would have pulled him. I mean, I would have pulled him after he couldn't catch the snaps, and I would have just been like, you know what? But DeBoer didn't. He stuck with him. I think part of what DeBoer likes is he likes to know the team, to know they can trust him. And I think he just probably feels like he doesn't want to cause any stability in the locker room, and that if this has been his guy, he's going to stick with him, you know. But if Ty's hurt or something like that, maybe he is. I mean, everybody else seems to be. You know, maybe you think about putting a package together for somebody that can run like Russell or Mac, you know. I mean, I didn't feel like the creativity was very good. I
completely understand the loyalty bit of it.
Yeah, man. I didn't think that I just didn't think that the some of the offense stuff to me has been baffling, you know, sometimes. I'm not saying I want to get rid of Grubb or anything, but it's like you just sit there and you're like, what are we doing? You know, like, you know, Catfish was saying that there's certain plays that he knows we're going to run because if we threw the ball, we would have a penalty called on us for illegal procedure. You know, like, so you automatically know it's a run play because of the alignment, right? I don't know. To have -3 rushing yards, though, is pathetic. I mean, that can't stand. You know, I mean, they've got to do a better job of running the football effectively. But part of that is if Hill's hurt and Jam's hurt and Riley's hurt, those are your first 3 guys, right? I don't know what happened to Richard Young and A.K. Deer. Did you see A.K. Deer on the one play? Like, he's just running the wrong way. You know, like he doesn't know the plays, you know? And then Todd's just like, what are we doing? Yeah. You know, so you got to look at that too.
No, I mean, the run game. I mean, don't even get me started about the run game. And, you know, I just always think about whenever Tua came in to, you know, beat Georgia in the championship game. And then the next year after that, Jalen came in to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. And I just kept thinking, are we going to have a three-peat here? Is Mac or Russell coming in to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game? And it's nothing against Ty. You know what? I tell you what, I love having Ty Simpson as a QB, but everybody has bad days, right?
Yeah.
It's just like in golf. Sometimes you go out and shoot. Sometimes you can go out and shoot par, and the next day it looks like you never picked up a club in your lifetime. And that's how it goes sometimes in life. And everybody has a bad day at the office. Ty's a great quarterback. We got 3 great quarterbacks. And sometimes they just, like it seemed like last night, they just had us dialed in. And, you know, we lost.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes sometimes. We beat them the first game of the season. We beat them the second game, or they beat us the second game at SEC. And, you know, maybe we'll meet again in the playoffs and we'll beat them.
I would love it. Hey,
that's
look,
why we play the game.
I'll tell you what, I would love to see him again. Think about the gauntlet that it would take to get there, though. You're talking about a lot of football.
Yeah.
You know, you got to win this one.
Yeah.
Then
And
you got to beat
team is
Indiana.
capable
Then
of
you got to beat Oregon. And then you get there, you know. So you're talking about 4 more games. But Bama's done this. They have already won against ranked teams 4 straight weeks this year. They've done that. Now, these are better teams, but, well, maybe they beat Georgia in that run. You know, this is what you play football for, you know, to get an opportunity to win a championship. And we got that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe we can do it. Obviously, I'm biased because of who I am and, you know, background and things like that. My father was a football coach, and, you know, he was best friends with Steve Sloan. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, I remember Steve Sloan. He was the AD at Chattanooga when I was working for the Lookouts. Great guy.
Oh, was he? Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
You know,
I think,
he was the coach at Texas Tech. Yeah, he was coach at Texas Tech, and my father worked for him. They grew up in the same hometown. And, you know, my father's from Tennessee. They're both from Cleveland, Tennessee. And so whenever Sloan got the job at Texas Tech, you know, coaches move in packs, right?
Yeah.
My father followed him to Texas, and that's how my family wound up in Texas, and I wound up being Paul Bear Bryant. So, that's, you know,
that's
the
a cool
serendipity of life.
Yeah,
but,
that's a cool. Well, let me ask you about that first. And Sloan was he was the athletic director at UTC in 2006. I thought so. Yeah, super great guy and a legend. So your name is Paul Bear Bryant, and what's your last name? Tally. So and then
yeah,
the Bear was from Arkansas, but he coached at Texas A&M, right? So he was out there some. What was it like for you as a kid growing up? Did people get like who you were named after, and did you get shit from people, or were they cool? I mean, I'm sure all of us Bama fans look at it and we love it, but what's it like being named after the Bear?
It was good, you know, because my father, like I said, he was a football coach here, and so, you know, and it was just my parents divorced when I was young, so it was basically me and him going to a bunch of ball games. Either he was coaching at or his friends were working. And, you know, so I just kind of hung out in the locker room with my dad and go to a bunch of games, and whether football, baseball, or basketball, you know. So hot dogs and nachos, it was a good upbringing. You know, I played sports too, and it was fun, but no one ever gave me nothing. You know, they all knew why I was named the, you know, Bear Bryant, and they all loved my dad. And so it was, you know, just fun times, you know, nothing bad about it. I kind of get shit because I still do have family in Tennessee, and it seems like when I go to Tennessee, it's always for the Bama-Georgia game. I mean, a Bama-Tennessee game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at the game that the first game that Lane Kiffin went back to Tennessee.
Oh, the mustard game.
I was I think it was the mustard game.
Yeah, they threw the mustard bottle at him and a golf ball.
Yeah. And but it was good because I was in a box with not a donor's box, but a private box full of nothing but Vol fans. You know, everybody was in orange, and me and my wife were the only ones there in crimson. And I mean, it was the first or second play out the gate, and we scored a touchdown. And that's back when Lane Kiffin knew the play was going to be a touchdown.
Oh no, you mean when Lane was our offensive? I'm sorry, you're talking about when he was the offensive coordinator at Bama. Yeah, I was there. I was thinking about when he was at Ole Miss as the coach. No, as the head coach. I remember that game too. I was there too because we scored before I got a chance to get in my seat.
Yeah, it was like second play out the gate.
Yeah.
And hey, you want to talk about a mood shift around a dozen Vol fans? It was like, oh man, here we go. And you know, of course, I didn't want to rub it in, and you know, we won, and it was a good game. And the guy that owned the box, he said, "Bryant, why aren't you cheering more? Are you just so used to winning?" And I was like, well, I don't want to be a bad sport. You know, I was just being cordial because I got invited to be in the box, you know. And but see, things like that through connections with my father, you know, I've gone to a bunch of big games, fun games, and had a lot of fun. And, you know, no one's ever gave me any real heck about it. You know, they kind of laugh about it occasionally when I go back to Tennessee. Like, how did your father from Tennessee name you Paul Bear Bryant? You know?
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
That's about it. It's all good and fun.
Well, Bear,
hey, I'm gonna let you go so you can take another call. But I want to tell you another funny story real quick. Man, I love the Jake Coker show that you guys put on. You know, the day before the game.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell Jake Coker something funny. Whenever, you know, I got a 5-year-old daughter, and every time we're going to go somewhere, I tell her, Anya, let's roll.
Yeah.
I love it. It's fun. Yeah, I love it. So, and I do my best Jake Coker voice, Anya, let's roll. And so she gets a kick out of it. And I had to tell my wife why I do it. And I can never get enough of that commercial, man. It's great. And so tell when you get a chance, tell Jake Coker that story, and maybe he does it with his kids. I don't know, but keep up the great work. I love the show. I tune in, comment, you know, thumbs up, all the fun stuff, you know, to try to support you guys. And hey, when it comes to the playoffs, let's roll.
Let's roll, brother. Hey, thank you, Bear. Calling again, man, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm going to play your commercial for you and then go back to the phone lines again, because we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. And here's their spokesman.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
All right, there it is. Let's roll. All right, let's roll back to the phone lines again. And again, before we go there, I want to remind all you guys, and you know this by now, but Bama's in the college football playoff. The committee put them up against the Oklahoma Sooners. So Bama and Oklahoma are going to play in Norman, December 19th, 7 o'clock. That's a Friday night game, and that's a big one. Winner takes on Indiana in the Rose Bowl, which is super cool. They basically said, you know what, you're not going to be penalized for playing in the SEC championship game. I think that's a good thing. I'm glad they did it that way, because that was the logic that they used when they put SMU in and Clemson in last year from the ACC after SMU lost the championship game, and that kept Bama out. They were the first team out. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Play your commercial for you, then go back to the phone lines again.
Hey, this is Robert McDonald.
Yeah, can you turn down the feed a little bit.
All
right, there you go.
Oh, okay.
So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mississippi.
Okay.
I've been an Alabama fan for years. What I seen last night just made me sick. I ain't never known Alabama to play like that.
It was a tough
Man,
one.
we just gave Georgia the game.
Yeah.
We just gave them the game. Just hand it to them, same way we did Oklahoma. Just hand them the game. That we don't want it, y'all take it.
Very similar.
But luckily, we got another chance.
Yeah.
We got another chance to go out there and try to do something. Well, that's, if we happen to get by Oklahoma, woo, man, Indiana, they're going to be rough, boy.
I think if we play our best football, we can beat anybody. But the games, you're right. The Oklahoma game and the Georgia game were the exact same type of loss where we made mistakes. And unforced mistakes. You know, block the high snap. You don't block a certain guy. You get a kick block. You're always going to lose after that, right? Interception sets you up. Punt return you can't block on, you know? Or you can't tackle a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think back when we played that championship with Nick Saban, pulled James Hurst and put Tua in there. I mean, Tank, he could have put, one of them other quarterbacks in there for something. That sparked the defense. He sparked the offense. It wouldn't hurt nothing. It wouldn't hurt it now.
Right now, I've got I got an issue with my power, so I think that does it for the show because I got an issue with the power here. I got to go hit the breaker. Hey, thank you.